Mist clings to jagged mountains, rivers glint in the pale light, and forests stretch endlessly. The silence is almost sacred. Then, beneath the beauty, a subtle tremor whispers, a heartbeat of the earth, ancient and patient. The camera slowly zooms along the spine of the South Island, tracing the jagged edge of the Alpine Fault. For centuries it has slept, but sleep, in the language of the earth, is only temporary. Beneath the mountains, pressure builds, a slow, unstoppable energy waiting for the moment to strike. The Alpine Fault is not just a crack in the earth. It is a scar, a wound that has grown over millennia. Stretching nearly 600 kilometers, it slices across the South Island, a seam between two colossal tectonic plates. Scientists call it the deadliest threat in New Zealand, and for good reason. Within the next 50 years, there's a 75% chance it will rupture in an M8+ earthquake, a force strong enough to split the land, reshape rivers, and redraw the map. Visuals sweep over mountains, roads, and towns built in its shadow. People live their lives unaware, walking streets that sit atop potential destruction. Forests sway gently, rivers hum, but below it all, the earth is coiled like a predator, waiting for the right moment. In a groundbreaking study published on November 3, 2025, researchers at the University of Canterbury revealed something chilling. The timing of an earthquake is as deadly as its magnitude. A rupture during peak population hours or in winter storms could magnify casualties and chaos. The Earth does not choose convenient moments. It chooses unpredictably. The study analyzed centuries of seismic data, modeling the impact of the Alpine Fault under countless scenarios. The conclusions were stark. This fault is a ticking time bomb. Not if it ruptures, but when. And the consequences will ripple far beyond local towns, shaking the economy, infrastructure, and lives across the South Island. Imagine the land as a living entity. The mountains breathe, the rivers pulse, and the soil beneath your feet remembers every tremor, every shift, every eruption of the past. Along the Alpine Fault, the earth is tense, coiled, and restless. Small tremors have whispered through the valleys over the years, hints of what is to come. To the untrained eye, they are nothing. But to those who listen, they are the mountain's quiet warnings, a drumbeat growing louder with time. Even in towns far from the mountains, a subtle unease creeps in. Structures groan, roads fracture in minor ways, and the air carries a tension that can't be seen, only felt. This is the quiet before a storm measured in centuries, a storm that could change the land forever. The rupture of the Alpine Fault could be catastrophic. In seconds, roads could buckle, bridges collapse, and buildings crumble. Rivers may change course, valleys could split, and towns once vibrant could vanish beneath landslides. Imagine entire communities cut off from rescue, the landscape itself reshaped in moments. It's a slow-building suspense, not in hours or days, but in millennia of tension. The Earth stores energy in a way humans cannot feel until the moment it releases. And when it does, the Alpine Fault could slice the South Island as if it were paper, a jaw-dropping, terrifying reminder of nature's supremacy. People live their lives along this hidden fault, some aware, some blissfully ignorant. Families in small towns, workers commuting, hikers in remote valleys, all are unknowingly positioned atop history's waiting hand. Emergency plans exist, drills are practiced, but the unpredictability of the fault defies even the best preparations. The tension grows daily. Every storm, every minor tremor, every creak of the ground feels amplified, though often it passes unnoticed. For residents, it is a slow-burning dread, a shadow at the edge of consciousness, reminding them that life here has always been balanced on a knife edge. Scientists warn that the timing of the rupture is a crucial factor. A quake during the night might catch most people at home, creating a concentrated impact in towns, while a daytime rupture could devastate schools, workplaces, and highways. Nature does not follow human schedules. It moves according to its own clock, ancient and indifferent. The modeling shows chilling scenarios. Highways ripped apart as cars travel, power grids failing mid-peak, rivers swelling from landslides, a cascade of destruction magnified simply by the moment the Earth chooses to act. Beneath the mountains, seismic sensors hum like nervous hearts. Every tremor, every microshift, every sound beneath the crust is data, messages from the Earth itself. Yet, despite centuries of study, there remains a mystery. The fault has its own personality, a rhythm that defies prediction, a mood that can change in an instant. This is what makes the Alpine Fault terrifying. It is both known and unknowable. We can measure it, monitor it, model it, and still, we cannot stop it. It is a reminder that the Earth is alive, ancient, patient, and terrifyingly indifferent to human lives. And so, the question lingers over New Zealand. When will the South Island split? Will it be tomorrow, next year, or decades from now? And when it happens, will humanity be ready to face the raw, unstoppable force that lies beneath the mountains? The Earth waits silently, patiently, and inevitably. Every tremor is a reminder that the fault is alive. Every echo through the valleys is a whisper of the chaos to come. And while the clock is not ours to read, one thing is certain. The Alpine Fault will speak again, and when it does, the South Island may never be the same. Even in the quietest valleys of the South Island, there is a tension that cannot be ignored. Rivers wind lazily through green pastures, but beneath the surface, the Earth stores an immense, invisible force. Hillsides that appear serene and stable are silently loaded with energy, waiting for the fault to release its grip. The land itself seems to hold its breath, aware of the inevitable upheaval, as if the mountains themselves are whispering warnings to those who will listen. Small tremors occasionally ripple through towns and farmland, a subtle reminder that the Earth is alive. Most go unnoticed, dismissed as minor quakes or the settling of soil. But scientists know these are the prelude, the faint drumbeats of a colossal force that, when unleashed, could remake the South Island in moments. Imagine the Alpine Fault rupturing in a single, unstoppable event. Roads could crack and buckle like broken chalk, bridges could collapse into raging rivers, and entire towns could be isolated by landslides. Valleys might shift, rivers could change course, and the familiar contours of the landscape could vanish beneath debris and rubble. Communities perched in the shadows of mountains would experience the first shocking jolt. Homes built over centuries of fertile soil might crumble, schools and offices could collapse, and emergency services could be stretched beyond their limits. Even in a well-prepared nation like New Zealand, the speed and intensity of an M8+ earthquake could overwhelm every system in place. The Earth does not discriminate. It does not care for wealth, planning, or precautions. It moves according to forces far older and stronger than humanity. And in that movement, the South Island could literally split apart, its scars visible from the skies and etched forever in memory. Despite preparation efforts, a shadow of uncertainty hangs over towns near the fault. Residents rehearse emergency drills, stock emergency supplies, and monitor alerts, but a quiet anxiety persists. Families glance nervously at the mountains each morning, aware that a single jolt could change everything. The beauty of the landscape belies its danger. Tourists wander along rivers and trails, hikers climb serene slopes, unaware that the ground beneath their feet could betray them. Farmers tend to their fields, children play in the shadow of hills, and towns go about daily life, all under the silent, watchful threat of a force millions of years in the making. This is the delicate balance of life along the Alpine Fault, a coexistence with one of the planet's most dangerous forces, knowing it is patient, inevitable, and utterly unpredictable. Seismologists and geologists study every vibration, every fracture, every subtle shift along the fault. Seismic sensors hum constantly like a nervous heartbeat, recording data in real time. Satellite imagery tracks minute movements of the Earth's crust, while computer models simulate every possible rupture scenario. Yet even with this knowledge, the fault remains an enigma. No amount of data can predict the exact moment it will strike. Scientists can outline probabilities, map potential damage, and suggest timelines. But the Alpine Fault has its own rhythm, ancient, unknowable, and indifferent. The clock is not ours to read, and the fault may wait another year, another decade, or longer before releasing its pent-up energy. Imagine the rupture in real time. The ground shearing apart like a wound, mountains trembling violently, rivers spilling over fractured banks. Bridges tilt and fall, roads twist like broken ribbons, and avalanches roar down the slopes, swallowing everything in their path. Towns are cut off, electricity fails, communications collapse, and emergency teams fight to reach isolated communities. The scale is unimaginable. Every second compounds the chaos, every tremor magnifies destruction, and the landscape itself is transformed in moments. A region once familiar and serene becomes alien, jagged, and dangerous. A dramatic reminder that humanity lives on borrowed time in the face of Earth's forces. The Alpine Fault is patient. It has waited thousands of years, silently accumulating energy, and when it moves, it will release that energy in an event of staggering magnitude. Nature does not hurry, does not falter, and does not apologize. Its rhythm is measured in centuries, not minutes, yet its impact touches every living being when it strikes. The South Island's forests, rivers, and towns are part of that rhythm. They may bend, they may break, but they are not in control. Humanity is an observer, a witness to forces far beyond comprehension, fragile in the shadow of an awakening giant. Amid the geological drama, the human story unfolds. Families will cling to one another, emergency responders will act with courage, and communities will face decisions that could mean life or death. The Alpine Fault does not wait for planning committees, traffic patterns, or convenience. It moves on its own timetable. People will be forced to confront vulnerability in ways they have never imagined. Evacuation routes could vanish beneath landslides, bridges may collapse as they are crossed, communication lines could fail as the earth splits. In these moments, courage, preparation, and quick thinking become as essential as the ground itself, but even then, the scale of nature's power may overwhelm